DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This daily game, the weekly motivation is now going to become the daily game. I ain't going to do the weekly motivation and the daily game because I'm giving you game either way. We just titling it the daily game, so no more weekly motivation. This one is about these salespeople that I see in Miami from this company called the Humane Society. Y'all might have heard of the Humane Society. They raise money to save animals so animals don't have to get euthanized and find homes for animals that don't have a home to live in and all that. So in Miami, they had these salespeople that they put out in the streets to stop people in the streets and try to solicit a donation from them for the Humane Society, which is all fine and good, but their salespeople actually suck. Their salespeople are terrible. So this is what they do. They see you coming, you're walking down the street, so they, the smiling salesperson, they get into your path, and they sometimes try to shake your hand or give you a high five, or they ask you some dumbass question. They'll say something like, hey, have you ever heard of the Humane Society, or do you like dogs? Something stupid like that. And by the time you answer the question, because mind you, you're walking by the time you get done answering the question, you already passed them and they can't even give their sales pitch. That's what happens to a lot of the people they try to stop. If they might get to the point, maybe they could stop somebody and possibly get a donation from them, somebody like myself. Because usually when they ask me something like that, I answer the question like, yeah, I heard of the Humane Society. Yeah, I like dogs. Or sometimes I say, yeah, a little bit. I like animals, or whatever dumb question that they ask. But I never stop because they're terrible salespeople. If they were good, then I would stop this on principle alone. But what happened a couple weeks ago is I'm thought I was going to walk by them, but I got stopped at a red light. And they're working on this corner right here. So I'm stopped at the red light, and there's this girl, and I guess she had like her trainee with her. I guess she was trying to train this girl into how to do the job, which is unfortunate because the one who was doing the training didn't know what the hell she was doing. So I know the girl she was teaching didn't learn anything. But I get stopped at this red light, so they got like 2 minutes at this long red light for them to give their whole pitch. So I'm listening. She's like, all right, have you ever heard of the Humane Society? I'm like, yeah, I heard of the Humane Society. Do you like animals? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then she starts to go into her pitch. She says, you are familiar with the Humane Society, so do you know that we're a non-profit organization? And I said, no, I didn't know that, or I did. I was basically saying yes or no answers, right? Then she asked me, do you know that puppy mills and dog fighting rings are the biggest challenges that we're dealing with right now? Do you know about those things? Have you ever heard of those things? Know anything about it? And I was like, again, another yes or no answer. Yeah, a little bit, whatever. And she started to ask, I forget what the next question was that she asked, but in the time that it took her to ask just those first 4 questions, do you like animals? Have you heard of the Humane Society? What was the other? Do you know that we're a non-profit organization? Do you know about puppy mills and dog fighting rings? By the time she asked all those questions and I answered them, the light turned green. And I said, I'm good. I said, I got to go. And I just walked away while she was, I guess, still trying to get to the rest of her pitch. And the point of all this is, and the reason why they're terrible salespeople is because what were they selling? If you just heard that story and you didn't get the background of me explaining what they're trying to do, you wouldn't even know what they're selling because she never even got around to the point of saying what it was that she was selling. And since all of us are salespeople, that's the reason I'm talking about this for the daily game, because I think a job like that is not even necessarily a bad job. It's just that they don't know what they're doing. They need training. I would train them, but nobody from the Humane Society has replied to me yet. But I would suggest anyone, if you want to get into business eventually in life, everybody wants to be in business in some way, right? Business is making money. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to do a tough job, which is standing in the street and trying to stop a person who has never heard of you. It's basically a cold call. It is a cold call to a person who's never heard of you and try to get them to do something that they weren't even thinking about doing, and may not even want to do. If you can develop the skill to do that, you can do anything. You can sell anything. So let me tell you what the takeaways are from today's daily game. Number one thing is, when you are cold pitching to a person, you're stopping somebody in the street, you cold call somebody on the phone, you email somebody that you don't know, you try to ask somebody to do something for you who's never heard of you and there's no relationship. I'm not saying that you don't do that, because there are times you need to do it. I do a whole lot of cold selling in my business every single day, even today. If you are cold selling, when you have a person's time, they decide to give you just a little bit of their attention for you to say whatever it is you got to say, get to the damn point and get to it quick. Get to the point quickly. What is it that you want? Why do you want it? And what do they need to do to get it? For example, these Humane Society people could say something like, sir, we're with the Humane Society. We're trying to stop dogs from having to get euthanized. Would you donate $10 so we can save a dog's life today? Simple. How long did it take me to say that? Less than 10 seconds. And I could hear you. I could be walking by. You could say that, and I could hear everything you got to say. And I might just stop and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you $10, so you don't have to euthanize a dog today, or whatever the pitch is. So we don't have to send these cats to the. We don't have to put these cats to sleep, or whatever the situation is. So we can say, so we can find a home for this dog. They can even have a picture of a dog. Like, listen, if you don't donate $20 to us today, we got to put this dog. We got to put this dog Sparky to sleep tonight. If you don't do it, and they got a big picture of the dog, that's going to get people to stop, because it's emotional, and you're actually getting to the point, which means even the people who are not that emotionally attached to animals, you're going to get a higher percentage of opportunities to actually close people, because they actually know what you want, why you want it, and what they need to do. It's simple as that. What do you want? Why do you want it? What do I need to do? That's it. You need to get to the point quickly. The number 2 thing is, when you are doing any type of cold selling, since you already know that you gotta get straight to the point of what it is that you're saying. The second thing is, people can see right through sales pitches. They can see when you're lobbing all these softball questions like, do you like animals, do you like dogs, dumbass shit. We already know that you're trying to say something else, but you're not actually saying it. People see right through that, and it annoys people more than it warms them up. People think those are warm-up questions. You're not warming anybody up. You're cooling them off and making them want to get away from you. Don't beat around the bush. Just get straight to what it is you're saying. And the third thing is, when you are making a sale, if you're trying to make a sale to a person, and a sale could be, I'll give you this product or this service and you give me money. It also can be, listen, I need you to do this to help out my nonprofit organization. I need you to give me some money to help out my nonprofit organization. It's still a sale. You got to be to the point, be clear that you're making a sale, and don't be weak about it. Meaning the beating around the bush, the alluding to what it is you actually want to say, but not actually saying it, is not getting you any closer, is not warming a person up, is not building rapport, or whatever the hell is they learned from some 20 years ago sales book that they should not be learning from. I don't know who's running the sales thing at Humane Society, but they need to lose their job, or they need to start firing their regional managers, because somebody dropped the ball in this whole situation. That's your daily game. DreAllDay.com. We out.